spooky season is officially upon us, and I'm here at Universal Orlando for my favorite event all year long, Halloween Horror Nights. I'm bringing you with me to the premier spooky event here at Universal Studios Florida. We're going to go in all 10 houses, including Insidious, which I'm terrified of, A Quiet Place, all 5 new scare zones. We're going to try some of the amazing eats, brand new things, and returning faves like Twisted Taters. I am so excited, so let's get into the fog. Now, before I get too much further into Halloween Horror Nights, I do want to put out a little content warning. If Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is the spookiest you want to feel this season, maybe this video isn't for you, as this event is definitely aimed at an older teen and adult crowd. So some viewer discretion is advised throughout this video. Additionally, if you don't want any spoilers inside the new houses or the new scare zones, I'm not going to show the whole things, but we will be shooting some moments inside the houses. So consider this your content and spoiler warning. Halloween Horror Nights runs for more dates than ever this year. It kicks off today, August 30th, and runs through November 3rd on select nights. Single night tickets start at $83, but they do vary based on popularity. Weekends are more expensive, with single date prices topping out at $123. The event runs from 6:30 p.m. to 2 a.m., and the park closes at 5 p.m. on Halloween Horror Nights nights. Now, there, of course, are add-ons you can get, things like Express Pass, which will cut your wait time at the very popular houses. That starts at $150 per person and runs up to $250 per person. There are also RIP tours, both non-private and private. Those are VIP tours led by a Universal team member, as well as Unmasking the Horror tours, where you get to go into the houses with the lights on and learn a little bit more about how these scares are brought to life. Stay tuned for more Halloween Horror Nights coverage. Alan and I are doing a tour throwdown video where we are going to do all 3 of the tours and tell you which ones are worth it for our fellow spooky season lovers. Now, I think that's enough logistics. This is my favorite event all year long at any theme park, any season. It is absolutely the best. So excited. Let's get into it. Now, if you're a Halloween Horror Nights fan, that you know that Universal has created different icons over the years to play host to the event. In the past, we've had famous friends like Jack the Clown. Last year, we had Dr. Oddfellow. And this year, we have Sinister and Surreal. Legend has it that for the previous over 3 decades, the screams and fear of the guests coming to Halloween Horror Nights have been seeping into the sewers and underground beneath the park. That is where Sinister and Surreal live, and finally this year, the 33rd Halloween Horror Nights, they have gotten strong enough and broken free and will be hosting you, where they will again feed on your fear. And what's interesting about these dual lady hosts is they each represent a different type of fear. Sinister is your more stereotypical fear, your physical, your bloody, your gory fear. And Surreal is that little more cerebral mind game fear. And if you come into the park, you may be greeted by the 2 of them, and you'll be forced to choose your path. Are you going forward with Sinister, or are you going right with Surreal? I'm looking forward to seeing more of these ladies throughout the event. A huge thank you to Universal Orlando for inviting Mammoth Club out to the opening night. That is how I'll be able to film inside the houses. Normally that is a strict no-no. Additionally, Alan and I will be back tomorrow night to get more footage, try a bunch of the food, then we'll be using our frequent fear passes. But again, big thank you to Universal for inviting us out tonight. We are headed into the Museum of International Folklore, where they have added the rotting stone as a new feature at the museum. But unfortunately, it's cursing anything and anyone it can get its fog, hands, slime on, whatever its curse may be. So I'm sure it'll be fine, but I have been told that maybe to watch out for not only the people in the museum, but also the exhibits themselves, because the rotting stone takes all prisoners. So this will be great. Also, friendly reminder that I am mic'd going into these houses, so you can hear my reactions, but it's going to sound louder than if you were in the house.
Everything's possessed. Look what it did to me.
Ew! Oh, I hate this. Oh, this is cool. Ew. Oh. Hello. A bear. I bet it wants a hug. Oh. Ew. my God, they were in the wall. No, I hate it. I hate it. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. We survived our first house. Now, I will be rating each house on the Lil Boo scale, and that is how much I love the house, how scary is the house, just where does the house rank. I feel like that was like a perfectly fine house. I like the theme of it, but it wasn't the best house I've ever been to, so I'm gonna put it right at a 5. We started right in the middle of the scale. Definitely, you know, if there's not a long line, check it out, but I don't know that it's gonna be a top priority. But I definitely got a few times. Next up, friends, we are headed into Slaughter Cinema 2. This is the sequel to a fan favorite house from 2018, Slaughter Cinema, and I'm super excited about this one because it's supposed to be campy. We're headed into the Cary Drive-In. Cary is a fictional town that is used a lot in Halloween Horror Nights. It's in Ohio. It's just your everyday, typical American town, but lots of creepy stuff happens there. I'm sure nothing will happen at the cinema, though, and we are headed in to see a bunch of B movies, and I listened to the Universal podcast where they tell a little bit of the backstory of these houses, which I highly recommend because that makes them even better. And they said there's going to be a bunch of different types. There's going to be a creature feature, there's going to be a spaghetti western, and y'all, there's an ocean themed film that I'm just praying to the mechanical shark gods that there's a shark in there. Let's go. Oh, boobies! Ah! Oh my God!
Heavy metal hell free all hell.
Oh! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Oh my God! Oh!
Hot off the naughty list. Night of the
Oh my God! Oh! Shark movie! Shark movie! Ah! Yes! Yes!
Mummy strippers.
Oh, hell yeah! Woo! Oh God, I'm lost. I'm lost. Oh! I survived. Oh! On the Lil Boo scale, it's a 10. There's a shark. It's basically a Jaws house. It's not, but okay. I jumped and was so excited that one of my strands of my neck was popped. Okay, what am I gonna rate that? I loved that house. I thought it was so fun. It's so campy. Each room is a different horror film, but like a B movie horror film. I think I'm gonna give that, taking out my shark-related bias, a 7.5 on the Lil Boo scale. Probably not the scariest house you're gonna go into, but it's fun. Next up, we are headed into our first IP house, but this is Universal's IP. It's Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. Universal Monsters have been a staple at Universal for over 100 years, and I'm so excited about this house because it's the first time they're doing an all-female monsters house. In years past, we've had the classics. We've had Dracula, we've had the Wolfman, we've had the Invisible Man, we had Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Phantom of the Opera last year, but this year we're getting all-female monsters, and the score and the house designer, both females as well. So, you know, I'm so into this. So in this one, we are going to follow Dr. Van Helsing, the famed vampire hunter's daughter, Saskia Van Helsing, as she goes to avenge her fallen brother and her fallen father, who have both been killed by monsters. And she wants to rid the world of monsters when she comes up with an unlikely alliance. She and the Bride of Frankenstein are going to team up to fight the She-Wolf and Dracula's daughter and other female monsters along the way. I am so excited about this for so many reasons. Let's go. Eek! I think that on my hype list, this was like, I think number 2. 1 or 2. Is this in A Quiet Place? But I love the idea of the lady house. It's the Barbie house of HHN.
I'm out. I will take my revenge and destroy Dracula. This beast I seek must be close by. Let him live!
Oh, Frank! Oh my God!
Victorious, vengeance shall be ours.
Oh! Oh!
Foul beast!
Oh no! Oh! Ooh, I made just got done with Eternal Bloodlines. I gotta give that one an 8. I don't think it's the scariest house by far, but I love the story. I love the idea of an all-female house. I love the idea of Dr. Van Helsing's daughter coming out to avenge her father and her brother. I love the idea of the Bride of Frankenstein and her teaming up together to fight the other lady monsters. Like, I just love the aesthetic. I love the vibe in that house. So it didn't scare me quite as much as some of the others, but I think the vibe and the story and the set pieces are beautiful in that one. All right, y'all, it is time for Goblins Feast. This is another original house, and I listened to the podcast, and the creative director of this one has been pitching it for 10 years, and it finally is here at HHN 33. Here at Goblins Feast, we are going to enter a magical, mythical, folklore, campy realm where there are goblins and other creatures that are going to be celebrating a festival. They're going to be celebrating Goblins Day, and they're going to bring in food, and they're going to bring in music, and it's just going to be a joyous festival, kind of like Thanksgiving. The only problem is humans are on the menu. So good luck to me, I guess. So according to the Universal podcast, the design of the outside here, the facade, is supposed to be a tavern because that's supposed to lure dumb humans in, which I'm not going to lie to you, would work. That looks like a cool tavern. I'd go in there. So I guess the goblins are onto something. Oh, jaunty tunes. Oh! 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 Hello! Aren't you lovely? Oh, no thank you! Oh, hi! Not ready yet. No! I don't like this. No, thank you.
The ancestors.
Oh my gosh, a giant hand. dapper fella.
A good goblin's feast area! Ah! God!
I love him. I love him. Oh, he's love. All right, if I was gonna rate this house on the jaunty goblin at the end, it'd be a 10 out of 10, no questions asked. But I'm not gonna lie, I got a few jumps in there because I love the lore of that house. I love the folksy, kind of like mythical folklore creatures. I really like the idea of like goblins. It feels very Halloween, very like, I love Lord of the Rings. Very mythical, very like fantastical, right? It's definitely not as scary, but I really liked the vibes. I liked the music. I liked a lot of it. Goblins, so fun. I think I'm gonna give it a 7 on the Lil Boo scale. Lots of fun for an original house. You're gonna have a good time in that one, and maybe get surprised by a few scares, but I don't think it's gonna be the scariest house we go into by a long shot. I do think I screamed louder there than the other houses we've been in there so far, which is not a good sign for Insidious. Next house on the docket, Major Sweets Candy Factory. Now this is a prequel to the Scare Zone that happened 2 years ago. It was one of my favorite Scare Zones. It was the New York section where on Halloween all the candy was poisoned by the Major Sweets Candy Company, and all the children eating the candy were going rabid and murdering people. Now this is, again, the prequel. So basically what happens is there's a school field trip, and Major Sweets wants to see just how well his nefarious plan will work. So he puts a little extra stuff into the candy, along with the help of Miss Candy, one of his employees, as well as Taffy, who, he looks like Taffy. They just want to see what happens when you poison the candy for the kids. Oh, also, I was told if you see a button, push it.
Major Sweet Candy! Flip your lid, kids!
Here's treat to welcome while the kids eat their candy.
Oh, Major Sweet! Hello! Whoa! Taffy! Oh! The children are demons! Ah! Why is it wet? Why is it wet?
If the kids don't get you, I'll put them in a trash compactor.
Oh my god, this is... Oh my god, the whole floor's moving! I hate it! I hate it! Oh no! Whoa! Oh, sick! It's Taffy! Gross! Oh!
You will be smashed.
No, thank you, sir.
They should be in smaller pieces, my sweet.
Okay, I love that one. I love that Scare Zone. I think the theme of that is so fun, and I've said it before and I'll say it again in Horror Nights videos. Understanding the backstory and the lore behind these houses is so important, in my opinion, to really fully immersing yourself into the experience. So there are podcasts that Universal puts out with long, 20-minute episodes on each house, each original house, so you can understand that. Or just at a minimum, read on the website the exposition about each house, because it really does go a long way for helping you really enjoy it, in my opinion. I'm giving that one a 7.4. I think it is just as much fun as Splatter Cinema, but, I gotta give the nod to the shark. I love that theme. I love the kind of kitschy candy, Willy Wonka gone wrong vibe. I got a couple of times. I think that one's great. And as a bonus, I love how Universal has themed a lot of things to Major Sweets. In fact, the candy shop that's over by Bruce, they have overhauled that with decor, like being a Major Sweets candy company. And I just love that they lean into the full immersion experience. Well, friends, it's time for the Insidious house, Insidious the Further. And to give you a little context on this house, the other day I was here at Universal Orlando and I stopped to get a coffee and I asked the team member, hey, how was team member night here at Halloween Horror Nights? And she said the Insidious house was so scary that she cried. And then tonight at the media event, I was talking to some of the creative minds behind this event, Laura Souls and Mike Aiello, and they both told me the Insidious house is one of the scariest, if not the scariest house they've ever made for the event. So That's great. The Insidious house, Insidious the Further, is based on all 5 Insidious movies, which I did watch all 5 of them to get ready for this event. And it's going to feature the demons that come from throughout that franchise. If you've not seen the movies, it's a paranormal franchise where there are different demons that will haunt people in the world, in the real world that we know and love it, and they become haunted themselves because it's not just places that are haunted, it's people. And then at some point you have to go into the Further, which is in this other realm, in the beyond. It's kind of similar to the Upside Down from Stranger Things. That's what I compare it to. And there they have to fight the demons and reclaim their souls. There's the red-faced demon. There's the Bride in Black. There's Keyface. He's so nightmarish. All the demons you know and are scared of. And I'm terrified right now. So wish me luck. I just texted Alan my goodbyes and love yous and told him to tell Kronk to never forget me. And if the demons take me, man fam, it's been the ride of a lifetime. Thank you. Oh, not the red door. I'm already stressed.
He's got no baby.
Oh! Oh, God, the bride. Oh my God!
Go get hell.
Ah!
Go get hell.
Oh no, not the mannequin room. I know one of them's gonna move, I know one of them's gonna move. I hate it. Ah! Oh, the whispers. No! The music, oh my God. It's so dark! It's so dark in here! Oh, we're in the Further. No, Keyface. I hate Keyface so much! Oh! I got sparked on! Not this song! Oh my God! I hate this. Oh my God! Oh my God, I hate this. It is so long. Get me out of here. Keyface, no! I hated it, but I loved it. That's the scariest house I've ever been in. 10,000 out of 10 on the scare scale. I can't help but give that a 10 out of 10 on the little boo scale. Like, that is a haunted house. It is so scary. All the imagery of those characters is so scary. All of their faces, nightmares, and the scares do not stop. They are one after the other after the other. You got that creepy strings music. You got that creepy tiptoes through the flower music. I don't care if you've never seen Insidious. That house is going to terrify you. That is a nightmare. All right, next house on the docket, we've got another original house. This is called Triplets of Terror. Now this is the 33rd Halloween Horror Night, so they had a little fun with that, which is why there's triplets. You see triplets, Melody, Harmony, and Junior on their 9th birthday in 1984. Their 9th birthday, by the way, March 3rd. 3-3. They decided to celebrate not with, snacks and Blockbuster like I might have done on my 9th birthday. The roller skating rink sparkles. It was a hit. No, they decided to murder their entire family, and now every 10 years, they do the same thing by going into random towns and causing chaos and murdering people. And this is your slasher house. This year on the podcast, they said that they realized none of the IPs that they were using were like a classic slasher film, and you gotta have a slasher at Halloween. Oh look, the house is 3324 because it's the year and the Horror Nights.
That's right, Juma.
Ew.
Every decade on March 3rd, they appear to reenact that rapid
OJ, idiot!
Hey girl. Oh! No thank you. Oh, it's snowing. Junior? Oh! Poor man. Oh. No thank you. No thank you. Ew, it's wet! Ew, 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 ew. No! No, thank you! No, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you! Triplets of Terror, check. I love the lore, I love the backstory. You know, you gotta have a classic slasher when you're at a Halloween Horror Nights, and I did get got several times by the different triplets. I don't think I like it as much as Goblins, but I definitely like it more than Museum, which means I'm gonna put that one at a 6.5. It's just kind of your classic Horror Nights house. If you know the backstory and know to look for all the Easter eggs, there's tons of them, which I did really enjoy. And as a fan of like true crime podcasts, I liked that played a role into the story, but definitely not as much of a must-do for me as some of the other houses. Next up, we are headed into Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and this is directly themed after the most recent Ghostbusters movie, way back in the day, Goraka. And this is a ghost, a spirit, an entity that freezes everything to death. And unfortunately, it's bad. And much like the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire movie, there's a lot of fan service. So there are going to be beloved characters from the entire franchise, including some ghosts you may recognize, and my personal favorite thing to come out of the Ghostbusters franchise in recent history, the tiny little Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I'm really excited for this house because I feel like it's going to have great music, because who doesn't love the Ghostbusters song, and I feel like it's going to be the like fun house. You know, there's always one house at Horror Nights that isn't super, super scary, it's just like a good time. I feel like that's going to be Ghostbusters. I love them! Oh my god, they're moving! Oh my god! Oh dear. I thought you were frozen! Oh, creepy. Ew, I'm getting dripped on. Ah! I am obsessed with you. Oh, hey, girl! Whoa! Oh, no. There she is. Oh! Ah! That's awesome! Hello? Ah! Oh, my God! Snow!
Just where do you think you're going?
So what did you do? Oh, nightmare. No! No! Can I go back? I don't know what to do. I'm going. That final monster got me so good, and I was like, can I go past you, or what's happening? Oh wow, that house is fun. If Insidious is a nightmare, that house is fun. You're gonna see the characters you know and love from the Ghostbusters franchise. I am really, really glad I watched the most recent movie so that I could follow along and understand what was going on and the backstory of the monster. So I highly recommend watching Frozen Empire. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but you know, like Paul Rudd's in it, so it's fine. And I'm obsessed with the tiny Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That was such a fun addition, and I loved that some of them were literally moving and giggling and causing chaos. Okay, that's a really beautiful house. There's some big set pieces, there's stilt walkers, there's Snope. It's a lot of fun. I'm gonna give that one, I don't think it's quite as good as Insidious just because Insidious is designed to scare the nonsense out of you. I'm gonna give it a 9. It's a fun house, it's a great house. It's the one you wanna go to for a palate cleanser. Now, I did get God a few times, don't get me wrong, but it's a great one. Next up on the docket, house number 9, our final of the original houses this year, and one of my favorites from last year over in Hollywood. We are headed into Monstruos, Monsters of Latin America. This house was such a hit in Hollywood last year. Fans loved it, so they decided to bring it to Universal Orlando this year. And if you've watched a bunch of our videos, you may remember this as the house that scared me so much. I abandoned Max and Alan, and they ran after me, and Max yelled at me. It's one of my favorite moments that we've ever captured on film. Hello, Dad! Hello, yes! Oh my God! And I'm very excited it's here. Now, this story focuses on folklore from Latin America, and I'm going to tell you about these different monsters to look for right now. If there is no other house that you look into the backstory of, please look into the backstory of this one. It makes it so much better. First up, and I'm sorry, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but I promise I looked it up. I asked multiple people how to say it. I'm doing my best here, but it's Twi'lekuchi. Twi'lekuchi is like a vampire or witch that lives with its human family, but it can shapeshift, and then it sucks the blood of infants at night, and this is a spooky folklore story from Mexico. You're also going to look out for La Lechuza. This is a monster that has a face of an older woman, but the body of an owl, and she preys on drunk men and children at night. Also a story from Mexico. And last of all, you got El Silbón. I think he's the creepiest. The story is of a man who killed his father as well as tortured his grandfather, and now he lurks at night carrying a bag of bones looking for more people to add into it, and he's known from his signature whistle. So when you're in this house, you're gonna wanna have your ears open, because if you hear that whistle, maybe bad news for you. Also, the whole story is told by Muerte, who is dead. He's kind of like the Grim Reaper, and he's narrating the legends as you go through Monstruos, Monsters of Latin America.
A shapeshift
Oh.
that lives on the blood.
No! Es mi bebé! Woo! Oh, we're in the bag. We're in the bag. God! Ew! Oh, God. Oh, the noises. Oh! Oh my! I survived. I love that house. I love that they brought over some of the huge set pieces from Hollywood. I don't know that I love it as much as Hollywood. A few of the rooms are laid out a little bit differently, and I kind of preferred the other way, but it's still so scary. I got so many times It is such an incredible house. 9.5. I love the backstory of this one. I love the different looks of the different monsters. I also, spoiler alert, cannot wait to go to Hollywood very soon where they're having Monstruos 2 with all new monsters to share. But that house is amazing. Absolutely incredible. My favorite of the originals, 9.5. And now, we only have one left, and I'm gonna have to be a little bit quieter. All right, y'all. It's time to be quiet. We're headed into our final house, A Quiet Place. This is my most anticipated house because how are you doing a quiet haunted house? I do not know. But this house is gonna follow the first two movies where we're following the Abbott family, made of Emily Miranda Priestley's first assistant and Jim Halpert and their children. And we are gonna end up in the nightmare where anything that makes noise gets killed by the angels of death creatures. So, shh. But what's really cool about this house is they're actually using ASL. So, let's go. Is so awesome, and I would definitely die in that universe because I couldn't even keep quiet long enough to make it through the haunted house. 10 out of 10. Amazing. That house is awesome. If you're a fan of those movies, that is phenomenal. Those are some of the best scary movies I've seen in recent history, and the house does them justice. 10 out of 10. Totally different vibe from Insidious, but those two houses are both amazing. Next up, we are headed to Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus. This is the stage show at Horror Nights, and it's incredible. The stunts, the acrobatics, the dancing. Let me just say, it's a real different vibe than the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular over at Magic Kingdom. If you wanted real confirmation that you're at Universal and not Disney, this is the show to see. But I love it, and I'm excited because it's a brand new show, a brand new story this year, where it is a tainted love story, where there is a man who falls in love with a circus performer, but she dies, and he must live that night over and over and over again and try and figure out how to save her. That show is so much fun, starting with your nice throwback little MCR to hype up the crowd. There are acrobatics, there are illusions, there is fire. It is such an amazing show, and there's such talent on display. I cannot recommend this one enough. Now, I will say it's very, very popular, so it's recommended to get in line at least 30 minutes before showtime. Typically, the last show is the least popular, but still, once they've hit capacity, and they do not let anyone else in. So maybe you don't want to prioritize a show over, say, all the houses, but it is an incredible show with a lot of talent. I have a new theme this year with kind of the haunted love story. Definitely a delight. Very, very talented folks here. Well, we did it. We made it through all 10 2024 Halloween Horror Nights 33 houses, and now coming to you from my favorite place, a quiet Diagon Alley. Diagon Alley is my favorite theme park land in the whole world, and they did bring back the Death Eaters this year, so we're definitely going to check that out tomorrow. But the Death Eaters don't run all night. The last few nights of the event, you can just come back in here and enjoy the ambiance, and it's quiet and there's not a lot of people, and the dragon breathes fire at night, which is amazing. So one of my favorite things to do at Horror Nights is to get a pumpkin beer or get a treat and come back in here and just enjoy a quiet, calm escape from all the horror Diagon Alley. But let's go through my ranking. Now again, this is not necessarily based on how scary the house was or how many times I got, but just how much I personally love the houses. This is my personal rank of your 10 houses. Starting at the bottom, we've got the Museum Deadly Exhibits. Number 9, Triplets of Terror. Number 8, Goblins Feast. Number 7, Major Sweets Candy Factory. Number 6, Slaughter Cinema 2. Number 5, Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. Number 4, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Number 3, Monstruos, Monsters of Latin America. Number 2 and number 1 were tied. I gave them both a perfect 10. One because it's an absolute nightmare. One because, well, it's also a nightmare, but also I think maybe the most unique take on a horror house I've ever seen. But tied for number 1, you've got Insidious the Further and A Quiet Place. And if I was forced to choose, I think A Quiet Place is my favorite house this year. But like I said, I'm going to be back tomorrow night with Alan. We're going to do a bunch of the snacks and the scare zones. Check out what else the event has to offer. So I'll see you tomorrow. Boo!
You scared me.
Welcome back to night 2 of Halloween Horror Nights.
Tonight, our main goal is to sample a whole bunch of food.
Most importantly, twisted taters.
Sure, we're also going to check out all 5 scare zones.
And perhaps one of my favorite things of the Halloween season, we're headed to Diagon Alley because I hear there's some dark wizards there.
So naturally, your people.
Alan,
Gonna-
I may be a Slytherin, but what about me says, what about me could possibly resemble the fact that I am on the team of the Dark Wizards?
You're currently wearing a dark mark and you have Voldemort's wand, so that's going to be 2 tells right there.
It is my way of blending in. Undercover, rogue agent. Don't worry about it. Now tonight we are here with our frequent fear passes that we purchased, but we also bought Scream Early. Scream Early is a $55 ticket add-on that anybody can buy as long as it's available the night you're going to Halloween Horror Nights. And this is a great add-on in my opinion. It is valid starting at 3 o'clock. You can come into the park and enjoy some of the regular park hours. And then you have to get into one of the Scream Early zones prior to 5. You cannot come into the park after 5, so make sure you're getting to the park on time. But the perk of Scream Early is one, not only do you not have to leave and come back in and deal with the crowds outside because the event doesn't officially start until 6:30, but it actually allows you first access to the houses. So if you're not purchasing Express, if you want to do as many houses as possible, this is a better, more cost-effective option to hopefully be able to do 1, 2, if not 3 houses before the event even officially starts. Now this year there are only 2 Scream Early zones. There's the New York zone, which is incredibly popular because Insidious, Quiet Place, and Ghostbusters are all in that zone. And then there's also the zone that we're in, which is the World Expo zone, which kind of grants you access to the back half of the houses with Goblins Feast and Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines opening up early. But I did just confirm with the manager that you will have access over to Slaughter Cinema 2 and the Museum Deadly Exhibits when those open up at 6. So theoretically, you could get through 4 houses, possibly, depending how early you get into this zone before the event even starts. Just note that with the New York zone, it's going to be incredibly popular. They're going to hit capacity very fast. They actually hit capacity tonight because, again, those houses are all very, very popular. Now, I will note one of the downsides of doing Scream Early is the fact that you do not get to watch opening scaremonies. Opening scaremonies are a fun way to kick off the evening where you have your hosts for the evening, Sinister and Surreal, as well as some of their minions come out and greet you in grand Halloween Horror Nights fashion. It is fun to watch, but I will tell you, people camp out very, very early. People were out there earlier than 5 o'clock when we were coming into the park today, so if you want a good view, you need to get there early. In my opinion, Scream Early is the better move.
Now, while we still have some time to kill, I did want to point out that there are some attractions that do remain open throughout the event. They are Revenge of the Mummy, Men in Black Alien Attack, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, as well as Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Now, I should note that Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts does not stay open for the entire length of the event, so if you do want to ride that at the event, make sure you get that done earlier. In a departure from last year, Transformers the Ride is not open this year. Honestly, I wouldn't say to prioritize riding these rides and rather go through the ScareZones or the houses or sample the food, but I just want to let you know, they do typically have lower waits. All right, they have just dropped the barricades and we are headed to our first stop, which is Diagon Alley to see some Death Eaters. They will be out throughout the night roaming Diagon Alley, allowing you to, I don't know, duel if you're Molly. Which I'm just referring to. She'll say duel. I'm referring to it as getting practice for her inevitable Death Eater transition in the future. But here we are, and it's empty. Ugh. An empty Diagon Alley is really tough to beat. Now, the Death Eaters typically begin their first jaunt through Diagon Alley just after 6 p.m. and will run intermittently, approximately every 20 or 30 minutes until midnight. But you know those Death Eaters, they don't really run on a set schedule, so who knows when you might find one. The reason we chose to come here during our Stay and Scream or our Scream early is because the later it gets, the busier these Death Eaters are. So if you really want good interactions or you want good photos with them, we recommend coming here a little early.
Very demure, very mindful in this look, very classy, very cutesy.
Cutesy? Oh my.
Gonna do a little shopping, I see. They're lucky they got called away. I was about to unleash some fury.
Yeah, that's how it looked.
Was lucky his master called him away because I was about to unleash some fury.
That's how it looked, yeah. Yep, definitely how it looked. He made me kneel.
Are you proposing? Yeah, that's true. That was embarrassing.
I remember that.
Yeah. The Death Eaters are so fun. I absolutely adore them. It's such a fun vibe in a nightmare way, like this whole event, to come into Diagon Alley and have them roaming and tormenting people. And it just is, it's like a warm hug of evil. I will say that the downfall to coming during the daytime is they're cooler at night. Some of the effects they do around the green light looks cooler at night, the fire looks cooler at night, and for the first time this year, they actually have a dark mark. So at the end, when they raise their wands and cast the dark mark with Mors Morte, you can actually see it. So daytime is great because less people are here, but later sets in the evening, maybe like the last-ish set, usually isn't as crowded either, and you get to see them at night. But a must-see.
Yes.
It is time to eat, and our first stop were the Ghostbusters booths, but we couldn't find a table, so it is Allen table time. It's Allen table time.
I'm a saver.
From the most popular and hyped booth at the event, we have got Slimer's Korean Corn Dog. Ooh. It's a Korean cheese dog with Fritos covered in Cheetos powder, ghost pepper spice, sage derby cheese, and mozzarella. You know, I don't like hot dogs, but I do like cheese, so. We also have got the Frozen Death Chill, which is Korean corn dog dipped mint cheesecake with bugles and glitter. I hope by Korean corn dog dipped, they mean the batter and that there's not a hot dog inside this cheesecake, which appears to be blue. This is a nightmare. And the cutest little thing I've ever seen, a mini Stay Puft S'mores. It's a mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and your classic s'mores fixins of a chocolate bar and graham cracker.
First up, we have our Korean corn dog, covered with oh so much stuff. For scale, it's very large.
Bite it from the middle.
That was quite a mouthful. Right off the bat, I mean, you get a good bit of dog and cheese in both of this. I have saved the cheese bits for Molly to enjoy. It is a huge texture contrast between the hot dog, which is cooked well, and then the dough on the exterior is not like a traditional corn dog dough. It's a lot crunchier, and there's a lot more texturally happening. I will say the one thing that I wish it had is I want more of that ghost pepper seasoning on top, because outside of that, it's pretty bland. You have it's a good corn dog with some nice crunch, but it's not blowing me out of the water.
I'm here to review this as if it just has cheese.
You're a psychopath.
Agreed. Without any dog, because I think there's more dog down here, but without any dog, it does remind me of my beloved cheese on a stick from California. I think it's fun that it's green. It's a hearty dish, but I think the real reason everyone's going to this booth is for something else. This is my child now, but I'm gonna eat him. I'm killing my child. Oh my God. No, it's fine. Everything's fine. He's a messy little guy, but he's delicious. I mean, it's a s'more. This is what Universal does so well. They make really cute, themed, Instagrammable desserts, but they keep them simple and delicious. And who doesn't love a s'more? No, this is a very popular item, probably the most popular at Horror Nights this year, and it is selling out before the end of the night. So if you want to get one of these guys, go to the booth early. And now, this blue thing. You want it for it? I'm just going for it. Should we Lady and the Tramp it?
You first. A bugle has been lost. Show me Joey's acting lesson. I have chosen, while Molly is chewing, I have chosen to get a smaller forkful.
The good news is, it doesn't seem to have a dog inside. The bad news is, it tastes like toothpaste. I'm glad we're sharing this with other friends. It's a no for me.
Hot take. If it wasn't deep fried and covered in bugles, I'd eat the cheesecake wannabe thing. But I also really like mint flavored things. You know, if you're a really big fan of mint, maybe give it a go.
Not for me. Respectfully, no. It's time, friends. Reason for the season, the Twisted Tater. The Twisted Tater booth has 3 flavors this year: sour cream and chive, which I got, garlic parmesan, or classic seasoning salt, and it's a potato with seasoning on it. And I love it so much. This was a good fresh one. Warm, crispy potato, lots of seasoning on this bad boy. It's a best.
And I have picked up the Forbidden Falafel. This is falafel with a tomato cucumber salad and tzatziki inside of a warm pita. And I picked this up at the Twilight Tavern. Excited to give it a try. I've got high hopes. Yeah, it's good. Wow. Pita, when we arrived, it was nice and warm, but after a little while, it's not as warm. I can tell you right now, if I had eaten it right when it had come out, that would have added a whole nother dimension. As it stands, the tomato and cucumber salad is so nice and refreshing. I love tzatziki, and this falafel is cooked really well. Crispy on the exterior, fluffy on the interior. 11 out of 10 would get this again. This is a banger. All right, well, we went to the Insidious booth and picked up the Red Door. This is a potato and onion-filled hand pie that looks like a terrifying red door. We also picked up the eggs in the Further. This is jalapeno brioche egg in the hole with shakshuka and feta cheese.
All right, this has been one of my most excited to try dishes because I love eggs. Shakshuka is a Middle Eastern dish that uses tomatoes, onions, peppers, garlic, and then again, they've got some feta cheese and this jalapeno bread, and it's an egg and hole situation, so I'm gonna get a little of that. Oh, look at that egg. Oh, I love eggs so much. It looks perfect. It looks like little gooey. No, that thing. This is one of the best dishes I've had at a Universal event. I love a gooey egg, and it's a nice gooey, like almost ramen egg consistency. And then you've actually got a little bit of heat from the jalapenos and this garlic buttery toast, which has it's toasted the perfect amount. Tons of that kind of salty feta cheese to break up the richness and natural sweetness of the tomato. This is a banger dish. I'm very into this. This is gonna top my best of the frights feast at the end of this.
I'm gonna have a bite of a demon door. The pastry is very good. Very light, not super chewy, flaky almost. The interior is very clearly potato, onion, then it has a little bit of a turmeric, almost like a very light curry flavor. I would like to see some more like garam masala and turmeric, just a little bit more of those seasonings throughout, and this would be up there. Right now, as it stands, and I've kept biting into it just to be sure, it's kind of one note, and that one note isn't super loud. So I'd like it to be stepped up a little bit.
Taking a little feeding break, and we're gonna head into this year's Tribute Store. The Tribute Store is a Universal Orlando tradition, and they do one with every season, and it is this over-the-top, decked-out store themed to whatever the event's going on. So you get one every Halloween Horror Nights, and this year it's kind of like, we're in the New York section, so it's kind of New York themed, I guess. You got some graffiti, you got some construction going on up here, and we're gonna go check it out. Oh my God, it is like being in New York when you like have to walk under the scaffolding and stuff with the construction sidewalks. Hello!
Yeah, Tribute Construction.
Tribute Construction, there we go. There's always a lot of fun details and Easter eggs to look for in these stores, like these blueprints right here. These are 4 different store facades in the New York section. Like right here's the Tiffany & Co. And then you've got the Stein & Co. Jewelry Company. Now it does feel like there's some kind of creature that's causing some problems in this. Eek, a bat. Wrong way. Safe bats.
As we enter, we are greeted by Kurt's Supplies, and wouldn't you know it, Kurt is enterprising, and not only does he have a seemingly fresh new storefront, he's also selling some goods out of the back of his van.
I know my people when I see them, and I feel like Kurt may enjoy a good under-the-table business deal.
Oh, good. You know what? Listen, I think I might be a little bit wrong about Kurt. He's got 2 rules. 1, cash only. 2, don't waste my time. Kurt, an enterprising man. I like that.
Now, of course, at the root of it, the Tribute Store is still a store. So you're going to find tons of the seasonal merchandise in here, Halloween Horror Nights exclusive stuff, plus a lot of things that are representative of the different IPs. Like this whole first room is basically just cool Ghostbusters merch. Another fun Easter egg, Boris was here. That I believe to be a nod to Boris Schuster, who is a fictional detective whose office you can see in the New York section, kind of near Finnegan's, and he's been a character in an HHN house and different lore created for the event. Also, I really like this giant HHN kind of out of different letters as we enter another part of the construction zone.
Under the Boris was here sign, there's actually a journal, and on the back of which there's a QR code, and because I'm curious, I scanned it, and it took me to Instagram where they have different entries in a journal. This is entry number 4, and it's telling a pretty devastating story, actually. I want to find all the rest of the entries now. If this is 4 of 7, that means there are 6 more QR codes throughout.
Look at this cute little Boo sipper. I love that. There's a lot of cute little Boo merch this year, including this pumpkin. I love him. Also, look, a new QR code to scan. You know, we've had our eyes out for the Earl the Squirrel Easter egg they always hide, but I didn't realize he'd be Zombie Earl when we found him. And they have Mr. Tape from the previous tribute store, which is actually still open, over in the Hollywood section, which is the Retro Mall.
So from the journal entries, it looks like we are learning that this entire compound has been set up for a group of folks to escape this bat who seems to be terrorizing New York. There's a bunch of graffiti about him, and I'm now realizing that we moved into something that like feels like a sewer. It feels pretty industrial. Further sort of playing into that effect, there are some roaches being projected onto the ground as you walk throughout the space. And the more I look around, the more I am quite sure that we have entered a sewer system with many different feedway pipes housing some more merch. This time it looks like it's merchandise for a quiet place. Ooh, a quiet place scented candle. I wonder what a quiet place smells like. It smells like smoke. In general, human devastation. You try it. Oh, sorry. Amongst the graffiti on the walls, there is a Save the Clock Tower sign, which is a clear callback to Back to the Future. And of course, we have a peacock over here because it is the logo for NBC Universal.
There's always a treat case in the tribute stores as well with cute themed desserts. This year we've got a pumpkin lollipop macaron, a ghost s'more macaron, chocolate chili macaron with major sweets on it, pumpkin major sweets caramel, a red door caramel, an Ecto-1 caramel, a Batilda sugar cookie, a Lobu sugar cookie, a Stay Puft Man s'more, a Slimer brownie, ghost trap brownie, candy corn blondie, ghost s'more, cookies and cream top hat for major sweets, and a Mel's Die-In Black Forest trifle cake. And they have some of the major sweets branded candy that they kind of took over the candy company with in San Francisco across from the house. They have that in here too.
And finally, our last section is the old subway station, complete with a turnstile and very overgrown and worn down subway car. This looks like the hind end of a subway or trolley. Ooh, and another QR code. I'll have to be scanning that.
And unfortunately, we have, in fact, found the creature. And I thought the Insidious house was going to take me down, but it's going to be this bat creature. But before I go, I must share a few more Easter eggs I've just noted behind the bat, including this ancient Egyptian creature that's clearly from Mummy and the Jurassic Park logo in the back there. So at least the bat has quality taste in entertainment. And I'm desperately looking... Oh, a King Kong poster down here on the bottom. And I'm desperately looking for a Jaws Easter egg, right? Because there's got to be one. If we had a Back to the Future, Jurassic, Mummy, there's got to be Jaws, right, Bat? Don't do me like this.
All right, so that was our look at the tribute store. I have to say, I love that interactive element. I'm not going to give away the story, but it's cool to have a scavenger hunt within a store that already has so many niche references, and I really enjoyed that.
I couldn't find a Jaws Easter egg, but also it was pretty busy in there, and I didn't want to be in the way trying to read everything, so I'm going to have to come back another day and really scour all the graffiti and all the posters. Also, the tribute store is open during the day, so if Horror Nights isn't your thing, but you want to check it out, or it'll probably be less crowded during the day, I highly recommend, even if you don't want to buy anything, go in there, because they're always true works of art from the Universal creative team.
They do an excellent job every year.
Also, it's finally dark, which means as we continue to eat, we can check out some
ScareZones!
Now, throughout our evening tonight, we will be working our way through the 5 scare zones, and these are parts of the park that are sectioned off, and note, you will get scared. This year,
It says it in the name.
It says it in the name. There's no way to avoid them either. Some people are
It's
like,
not Fun Zone.
maybe for the scare actors it's fun.
Yeah, but we're not advertising it for them.
I will note that there's no way to avoid these. There's some Halloween events around the country that you can wear a necklace and they won't get you. No, they're going to get you no matter what. The 5 scare zones this year, kind of anchored by our hosts, Sinister and Surreal. You've got Duality of Fear, Demon Queens, Swamp of the Undead, Torture Fair, and Enter the Blumhouse. So I'm excited to check those out as we have a spooky good time tonight.
I got to tell you, Blumhouse is one house that I've never really wanted to enter.
You're gonna.
Okay.
They're welcoming you.
Oh, good.
And nothing bad will happen.
I don't believe
Probably.
you. Yeah, I don't believe you.
First up, as you enter the park right here, you've got Duality of Fear. This is where your hosts for the evening, Sinister and Surreal, have conjured up some of their loyal followers to welcome you into the bloodbath. You may even see Sinister and Surreal walking around here, or you could see them walking around their own scare zones that we'll get to in a little bit. Oh, that chainsaw noise is music to my ears. Just tickles my eardrums. And what's fun about this year is that because there's two houses, like I was saying, Sinister being the bloody, violent fear, Surreal being that cerebral, mental fear. If you go straight ahead this way into New York, you're going to hit Sinister's side of the park. And if you go that way to the right, you're going to go to Surreal's. So whose path will you choose?
There is no Sinister without Surreal.
Hey, Sinister.
Have you been to my fair?
I like your fair.
You do.
I do.
Go forth, spread the word of Sinister and Surreal.
I sense a fear in you unlike any other in this realm. Tell me, are you a follower of the sinister or the surreal?
I shouldn't tell you this, but Sinister.
Interesting. No strength to handle both sides. Continue your way.
Well, after having a fun time chatting with both Sinister and Surreal, and Molly getting, well, a bit scared by having she let Surreal know she already pledged her allegiance to Sinister, so that was a little awkward. We have now taken a hard right into Surreal's scare zone, Demon Queens, where the Demon Queens selected by Surreal are watching over her domain. Someone's not welcome here. Weirdly, it's you. Hello! Oh my. Now that is a nice perch. Would you look at that? Prime real estate, middle of the street. They agree.
I regret telling Surreal that I'm Team Sinister, but I panicked. And now we're headed to grab some more eats and drinks, but I have to point out one of my favorite HHN traditions, the males die-in. It's a simple pleasure in life, but it really brings me great joy. And now we are headed to the HHN bar, not a HHN bar, the HHN bar right here across from Mel's. This is one of several bars around the event where you can fill up your Blinky cup with assorted pre-batched cocktails, regular cocktails, beer, wine, etc. But this one's extra fun this year because they actually have scare actors as part of the setup. They're from various scare zones as well as some of the original IP houses. So you may see a Goblin, you may see Miss Candy, you may see somebody from Slaughter Cinema. And it's just a fun little addition and a great way if you want like a photo op with some of these cool characters that you're seeing in the houses that you're not able to get.
And Molly, as Vanna White, is modeling some of the latest in Halloween Horror Nights beverages. And in Molly's left hand, we have the Lacto Cooler, which is a flavored Berliner Weiss beer making its return and appearing for the first time ever to Halloween Horror Nights. We have a Cursed Cranberry Spritz. Ooh. That light is right in my face. You get to see just how illuminated I am. Cheers.
Blink. She is tart.
Ooh.
It says it's a vodka spritz. It's got 7% ABV, which is pretty good. Most seltzers, this is not seltzer, by the way, it's not bubbly, but most canned like seltzers are like 5 or 6, so it's pretty strong. And I had to get it because this is made exclusively for Halloween Horror Nights. It's not the best cocktail you're ever gonna have, but for a cocktail in a can that's readily available around the beer carts, it's pretty good.
And the Lacto Cooler, just like last year, it is a tart flavored Berliner Weiss beer. And this is just a nice sort of sipping beverage to have while you're wandering about Halloween Horror Nights. Now, if you do not like tart beers, I'm going to go ahead and say skip this one because it's sort of leaning on the sour side.
Got a little more of that vodka taste. I gotta give Universal props for not making this sweet, because I was afraid it was gonna be really sweet, but it's actually tart, a little boozy. I'm in. Next booth we're going to.
People can't hear you.
You're gonna get us killed.
Oh.
The next booth we're going to is a quiet place. It's over there. It's the red booth. They have a few different dishes inspired by the film. And what's amazing about this booth is that the chefs sat in a room together, a very quiet, echoey room. And if they could hear each other eat, that dish got nixed off the menu. So everything is soft. They do not put ice in the drink. It's cold to go in the cup, but they do not put ice in the drink. They even have special ladles. The chefs ordered rubber and silicone utensils as opposed to the metal ones because everything has to be quiet. In fact, the team members don't even talk to you. They point at things because we do not want to get got by the monsters. Let's go.
All right. So I've picked up the Abbott corn chowder. The Abbott family grew corn and often went fishing for shrimp in the Quiet Place film. And I'm trying to be quiet so as to not die. Cheers. This is really tasty. And for $9, this is a hearty size. I think it's seasoned really well. Most of the time corn chowders suffer from being one note. This is a nice cut with some citrus, and the shrimp is really fresh. All these vegetables together play off each other really well. I'm not often excited to eat hot chowder while walking through weather that feels like hot chowder, but I'll do it for this chowder.
I should note that the other two food items at this booth I got to try at a preview event. First of all, there's the Millbrook baked beans, which is mashed potatoes, baked beans, cheese, and cornbread. It was very delicious, and I don't even like baked beans, but it kind of tasted like a KFC bowl minus the chicken. And I really liked it, but it was very heavy and hearty for this hot weather, so it'll be great in October. I tried the wooden board eclair, which is delightfully macabre because it looks like the nail coming out of the step that Emily, Miranda Priestley's assistant, steps on and just can't scream. It's very cute, but it's cuter than it tastes. To me, I don't love eclairs, and it was very, very messy and a little too rich for my blood, but very fun themed. And now, I'm gonna drink the Raining Blood, which comes in this cool souvenir cup that lights up like the red light bulbs to alert you that the monster's close. Like that. Inside this drink, you will find bourbon, Flairnum, creme de cassis, blackberry syrup, lemon juice, and a hint of smoked sea salt. Cheers. I would shout, but I also do not want to be murdered. Normally batch drinks are way too sweet for me, and while this one is still pretty sweet because of the creme de cassis and the blackberry, it's also very strong, and you can definitely taste the bourbon. I think this is really fun with the cool cup. Okay, I hope we don't die now. Also, I learned how to do this in sign language. That means delicious.
After a stride through a quiet place, we are headed into quite exactly the opposite. It is Torture Fair. This is Sinister's Scare Zone. So imagine you're at a Ren Fair. It's 2024 and a demon comes who's obsessed with torture and looks at their followers and says, you know what? We could use some upgrades to these medieval torture devices. Let's put a 2024 spin on some of the medieval torture classics. And now we have Torture Fair.
Hello. You look nice. Oh, I'm clapping. I'm clapping. Yes, we're clapping. I understand. I'm so sorry. Very cutesy. Hello. That's nice. Oh, Sinister.
This is the scent of the spin bubble.
Yeah. Hello, Sinister. My queen. Sinister, is that made of a face?
I'm sorry.
Is your lovely costume, is that made from a face?
Costume.
Outfit. Outfit.
I'm an entity from another world.
Your outfit. I'm so sorry.
Questions are futile.
That's fair.
So sorry.
Decide yourselves what I am.
So yes.
Did Sinister just call me stupid?
Yeah, yes you did.
Maybe I should have pledged surreal. Oh my god.
I, for one, prefer the objective honesty of a leader like that.
Yeah, sure.
A jest. Turd.
Tell me.
How many people from the Man Fam are gonna die tonight?
Hopefully none. That would be a peachy thing.
I don't know if we can do that, Molly. Maybe Alan can be part of the thing.
Oh,
we
I'm
like
so
him.
lucky.
No, I love Alan too much.
I feel so honored.
Not long of a reprieve because now we're gonna head into Enter the Blumhouse. Actually, I might be lying to you. I may be making a very important pit stop along the way. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Hey, bestie. I love you so much. Also, did you know there's a fake you in one of the houses? I know. Is that like a relative? One of the team members told me his name is Spruce. So that's fun. But anyway, I love you so much. There's no horror without you. Bye. You're the best. No trip to Universal Studios Florida would be complete without coming to see my best friend Bruce the Shark and the newly reopened and lovely designed Chez Alcatraz bar. First and foremost, because we have to say hello to Bruce, and second, because they have a shark-themed HHN drink. So we're getting it.
You feel that?
Yeah.
The ground shake?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Out of the water, into the fog, dead or alive, use that for your parades this time. Bye-bye parade, so much guts and blood, never chump alone.
Hi, it's me, the #1 fan of Jaws and all things great white sharks. A lover truly for all my life, and I'm here to review this drink. It's the Zombie Shark. Now in it, we have vodka, Midori, peach schnapps, blue curacao, sour mix, pineapple juice, lime juice, cherry, little cherry on top there, and a gummy candy shark. I'm not gonna lie to you, that drink sounds very sweet. But I did love the presentation of a zombie shark puppet. Jaws, zombified. That's terrifying now that I think about it. I'm done thinking about it. Terrifying, but let's see how it tastes. All right, that's very sweet. I will say it's not as sweet as the normal Jaws themed drink that you can grab here, the Shark Attack, but it's still pretty sweet, too sweet for me. But if you are a sweet beverage lover, this is gonna be for you. You taste the peach primarily, followed by the melon of the Midori. There is a slight tart bit on the back end from the sweet and sour mix, but the most dangerous part about this beverage, you're not tasting any of the vodka, and I know it's in there.
Now, as I was saying before I got correctly interrupted by my love of Bruce, we are headed into our next scare zone, Enter the Blumhouse. You probably know Blumhouse films like The Black Phone, Megan, The Purge, and this scare zone celebrates all of those iconic horror movies with characters that you know and love. And it's really fun because if you are a fan of these films, you actually can have a moment to take a picture with someone as terrifying as the Grabber. He's Alan's favorite. Alan loves the Grabber so much. Alan hates the Grabber. I've never seen Alan kick and scream so much to go into a house as when we went into the Blumhouse house a few years ago. Except for The Exorcist, which we did not go to.
I draw the line at religious trauma. Oh, the bell. Good.
Hey.
Yes, I agree. That's terrifying. I hate it. Come on.
Hey, Megan. Hi, Megan. Oh, yeah, girl. Get it, get it. You're very good at dancing. Please. Oh! Please don't hurt me. Hello, it's me, lover of sweet treats and known fan of dessert.
Approved.
We stopped at the Major Sweets booth, which is quite literally in the Blumhouse scare zone. They've got a couple of sweet things, including like a mousse shaped like an apple, but I was drawn to this frozen Cyclops, which is a frozen peanut butter cup with a candy eye on top. Because I like Reese's. So, here we go. Oh. That's not what I was expecting.
Is it ice cream?
No. maybe whipped peanut butter. It's actually delicious. I love peanut butter and chocolate. Who doesn't? It's an elite combination. It's basically like cold whipped peanut butter inside a thin layer of milk chocolate. It's definitely not going to be the most extravagant dessert here, but it may be the winner just because it's simply delicious. Well, no, wait, the s'mores wins. But this is pretty good after that. We've stopped at our next booth, Goblins Feast. And here we are trying the pumpkin guts. This was recommended to me by several of the chefs from the event. This is butternut squash and zucchini noodles with pumpkin seeds and vegan butter inside an acorn squash, which is a very fun presentation. And then you've also got a goblin pie. It's a baked mini apple pie with cinnamon sugar and a bloody raspberry jam. It's giving McDonald's apple pie, and I hope it's just as delicious. All right. What if I just did this?
Picked it up.
It's so hot. That's how a goblin would do it. It's so hot. It's an interesting dish, and one that if I was at a restaurant, I would love on the side of like a steak. But this is probably not what I'm gonna go for at an event like this, just because I don't wanna eat a plate of vegetables. I wanna eat something fried, something cheesy, something a little, pizza fries, a twisted tater. If I was gonna go for a lighter dish, I would go for the falafel Alan had earlier. That was really good. It's all cooked really well. The vegetables have that crunch. They have that snap. It's a big portion of this, I think, for the price. I love the presentation. But for me, I don't know that I want to eat just a big plate of vegetables at an event like this. I mean, I want to personally eat something a little more wickedly delicious.
And I will be sampling our apple pie, which does smell familiar to me from childhood going to a certain chain restaurant. Oh, but way better.
Oh my God.
Let's start with the crust.
Oh, that's awesome.
The crust is a little bit like a thicker puff pastry. It's been fried to perfection, coated with a cinnamon sugar. But more cinnamon than sugar, which I love. The interior of which is a delightfully ooey and gooey apple pie. This is great. Apple's still slightly crisp, not grainy at all. It has structure to it. It has bite to it. And the nice cinnamon sugar on the interior isn't dominating it. You actually get to taste the apple. And I think an excellent part, an unsung part of this, is this raspberry on top. Adds a little bit of tartness to the overall dish, which balances it out a lot. I could demolish a disgusting amount of these.
Now, if there's one thing as iconic as twisted taters or pizza fries, Blinky Cup at Halloween Horror Nights. Alan picked his up earlier when we ordered the zombie shark drink, but I'm going to get mine here at one of the mini bars that sells beer. I have noticed that not all of them sell the draft beer. Some of them are more cocktail forward, but several of them do sell beer. Now, the Blinky Cup is a treasure because if you look, the cups are 20 ounces versus a single serve, which is 12 ounces. It's a little bit different for the beer, I will say, but you can refill them at a discount at any of the places that have alcohol, and you don't have to keep getting the same thing. So you can buy it with a beer for $16 and then refill it with one of the signature beverages for $13.50, and you're paying the same price as a single serve, but you're getting more drink, and you can bring it back visit after visit after visit. It is so fun. It's just an icon of being at Horror Nights to carry around your Blinky Cup. Additionally, they added this year. This was kind of a secret menu thing in years where now it's not just the specialty cocktails. It is just if you want like a Jack and Coke or a tequila soda, if they have that, they can do basic cocktails and you're getting a double for the refill price versus a single, which is dangerous but great. But for me, there's nothing better to put in your sinister and surreal 2024 Halloween Horror Nights Blinky Cup than the pumpkin beer. Cheers. It is such good pumpkin beer. It's not sweet. It's got all those autumnal flavors. You got cinnamon, you got nutmeg, but then you've got a nice hearty ale on the back end. Life is good. The only thing better, drinking this bad boy in Diagon Alley. For our next feeding, we're going to do a double feature, which makes sense because we're standing in the Slaughter Cinema booth. But first up, the items from the Triplets of Terror booth. Now, if you remember from the house, it's themed to a birthday party when, the triplets murder their whole family. So they've themed the food to a birthday party. How fun. Starting with the Say Cheese Burger. It's an all beef patty on a cheese bun with American cheese and white cheddar, lettuce, tomato, red onion, and a dill pickle aioli. Also grabbed the Beer Flight from Three Daughters Brewing Company. You can get any of these in a full-size beer or refill your Blinky cup with them, but we went for the Flight, which is a 6-ounce pour of the Awake Coffee Blonde, which I usually joke is my alias, the Florida Orange IPA, and the Red Bender Amber Ale. And I gotta say, Universal, I've said it before, I'll say it again, this is the right size for a Beer Flight. All right, first up, the Happy Birthday Burger. I'm loving this cheesy bun. I'm not gonna, look at that, that's nice. There's nothing super crazy about this burger, but it's a really good burger. I love the triple cheese, 2 cheeses on here, plus I really like the cheesy bun. It's nice and soft. The burger itself tastes great, not overdone, which can happen when you're cooking burgers in bulk. The produce tastes fresh. I wish there was a little bit more of the dill pickle aioli on here, but overall, is this the most exciting or unique thing you're gonna have at this event? No, but it's a really good burger, and if you're drinking and you've been going into houses, a burger's hard to beat.
The second part of our double feature has finally arrived. We have the Ropa Vieja Walking Taco and the Rocks from Hell. The Ropa Vieja has Doritos, Ropa Vieja, salsa roja, lettuce, sour cream, and Monterey Jack cheese. And the Rocks from Hell are crispy jalapeno and cheddar cheese stuffed lumps of coal. This all came from Slaughter Cinema 2's booth, and it had an incredibly long line. So if you are looking to get this, my recommendation would be to try to get this a little bit earlier in your time at Halloween Horror Nights, make it a priority. Otherwise, be ready to wait in a little bit of a longer queue. First things first, I'm having the Ropa Vieja Walking Taco. Now, when the chef was asked whose recipes this was, he says it's his mother's. Not taking credit for it, I respect that. I'm trying to get a Dorito loaded with all of the things.
While you do that, I should note that there's also a vegan version of this made with Fritos. Right? Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The Doritos are a nice little crunch to break up. It's very rich and kind of spicy. Ropa Vieja. You can taste the Monterey Jack cheese. There's just a little nuttiness and zing back behind it. The very well cooked meat. I'm not going to say it's the spiciest thing I've ever eaten, but if you are spice averse, you might not want to get this.
I love that. I had that at the media event, and I thought that was fantastic. As someone who loves Tex-Mex, it's like so convenient to walk around with it. Nothing over the top flavor-wise, but just really good components making a great dish. And now the Rocks from Hell. They're like pimento cheese fritters. Those are awesome. Creamy, cheesy pimento cheese, a little bit of zing from the jalapeno. I'm really not tasting it that much. I think the Ropa Vieja is spicier than this, but they're just like warm, crispy cheese bites. Who doesn't want that? And now the Beer Flight. Which one are you trying? I'm going for the Awake Coffee Blonde, obviously.
I'm going to go for the IPA, the Florida Orange IPA.
Link.
Can we talk for a moment about the size of these cups?
I know, right? I said this. Take note, everyone who makes beer flights. This is correct.
I'm not going to lie, I'm in a good spot.
I've had this beer many times before. It's a delicious beer. It is a classic blonde ale, but you can definitely taste that coffee flavor on the back end. So as someone who loves both beer and coffee, this is right up my alley. And it's not super heavy like a lot of like coffee stouts and things like that. It's light and refreshing on a hot night.
You can taste the orange peel very strongly in this IPA, and it is followed immediately by a lot of that classic hoppy pine flavor for an IPA. So if you are not a traditional IPA drinker, I'm going to say you're probably not going to enjoy this. If you do like the flavor of citrus plus the flavors of a very crisp IPA, that's right up your alley. It's right up mine.
If you like the Jurassic World IPA, the Isla Nublar, give that a whirl.
It won't be as hazy.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit more direct in your face, but pretty good. Ooh, this amber ale is nice too. This is a really traditional amber ale. You taste a little bit of caramel. Yeah, it's mostly sort of caramel and that malt flavor coming through here. Much more of a sipping beer. I'm actually happy that this is this size for the portion. I got to tell you, Molly.
Yeah,
in the queue of Slaughter Cinema.
Yeah, we divided and conquered. I got the lucky end.
I was there for a while. You know.
Yeah, it's all right.
There was a moment.
I
was pretty low.
Yeah.
Pretty low.
Oh no.
You know, not had a lot of. You know, we've had a lot of food recently, but not like hearty, stick to your ribs.
Yeah, we've done a lot of desserts back to back.
Yeah, we did a lot of desserts back to back. It's been a minute. The corn chowder is in the rearview mirror.
Sure.
Quite a number of exits.
Yeah.
this spread right here,
This is
this
doing
double
it.
feature,
This doing it.
I'm back.
We're back in.
I'm back.
Everything banger on this table right
Yeah,
now.
big fan.
I also want to highlight that this is also the location where you can pick up the Flamin' Hot Cheeto dusted popcorn that they had last year, which is very good. It's got a little kick to it, as well as your friend and mine, the Chucky popcorn bucket. Now, that last booth was quite hearty, quite heavy, so I'm almost full. We've got one more spot we want to stop at, but I would be remiss if I did not tell you that here at the DreamWorks Imagination Cafe, that this is where you can get the absolutely iconic pizza fries. These are another of my favorites year after year. Crinkle cut fries topped with marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, sausage, and pepperonis. No s'mores fries this year, but there is a vegan version of the pizza fries as well. An HHN classic. I'm a little bummed my stomach is too full for them tonight, but I will absolutely be eating them on a return visit.
And after that meal, we move into our final scare zone, Swamp of the Undead. Imagine yourself in a Louisiana swamp, and in that swamp, you are surrounded by swambies. If you're wondering what that is, I was too. That is a universal coin term for swamp zombies, and it makes them seem fun and kind of peppy. I assure you they're not. Oh, hello. That is a tasty snack. Yes, very tasty. Oh, that was good. Very good. All right, last booth of the night. It is the Monstruos booth, themed after Monstruos, monsters of Latin America, and we picked up the spinal cord pinchos, which is chicken on a kebab covered in a chimichurri sauce. This is meant to replicate the scene from The House, where spinal cords are on display. I'm hoping that this will not bring back any memories of that. Cheers. Okay, I am pleasantly surprised that the chicken is not dry. It's not the most moist chicken I've ever had, don't get me wrong, but it's not painfully dry like I'd expect mass quantity chicken to be. The chimichurri sauce is delightful. Light, acidic, you really taste the parsley and cilantro, the pepper flake in there as well. Nice little vinegary splash. I think this is a really good dish, and I am, again, pretty impressed with the portion size here. This is a decent amount of meat that you are getting for the cost, and it's very tasty.
I was also able to try the other dishes, other savory dishes at Monstruos during a preview night. I didn't love the pork with the mole sauce. It was a little on the drier side, which is unfortunately what can happen sometimes with pork. But I did think the heartbeat tostada was a great option if you are a vegan eater. I personally could tell it was vegan goat cheese, but it still had a nice crunch to it with the tostada. I liked the earthy flavor of the beets, which I don't always. And then you did have that kind of nuttiness from the vegan goat cheese. So if you're a vegan eater, I feel like this is one of the most flavorful dishes you can grab at the event.
Okay, well that was our last scare zone.
We survived all 5.
We did. Oh, that rhymed.
Good for us.
Yes, good for us. But that brings us to the difficult task of trying to rate them.
Oh, we gotta rank them. I see what you're saying.
Huh.
All right, I'm gonna go first. You tell me if you agree or disagree.
Will do.
Number 5, Duality of Fear.
Oh, the first scare zone
Yeah.
with Surreal and Sinister.
I usually feel like the first scare zone's the weakest just because it is very cool when they're like up on top, which I've seen them. But other than that, it's not the most, the set pieces aren't as big because it's right at the entrance to the park. So that's number 5 for me.
Okay.
Number 4,
Okay.
should we say it at the same time?
Sure. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Blumhouse.
Whoa.
Blumhouse to me felt a little bit like a meet and greet
Yeah,
situation.
it's like a COVID meet and greet where it's like distanced away from the characters.
You know what it was? It felt kind of like, and I hesitate to say that in this park lest my skin burn, like an Oogie Boogie Bash situation.
Oh, yeah. It's not as, there's a few jump moments, but I didn't think the set pieces were as impressive as my number 3. Say it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Demon Queens.
Demon Queens.
Yeah.
The Queens. I typically like the scare zones that are set in that section.
Yeah, they have a cool vibe over there in Hollywood.
I will say this time, the pieces didn't feel as big to me,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
felt like a more populated scare zone.
Yeah, there's some good creepy, because that's the cerebral in your mind. There's some very creepy costumes you're going to see. Which brings us to the runner-up. 1, 2, 3. Swamp of the Undead.
Swamp of the Undead.
Yep.
I'm aligned. I enjoy that ScareZone because it feels really tight, compact, and the set pieces are really, really immersive.
And the fact that they're using the natural aesthetic of Central Park with the canopy trees, and it like feels very much like you're in a swamp. And it's kind of campy where you've got like creatures eating dead birds, but I love it, which means torture fare.
Yeah, number one by a long shot.
I love it.
It was so fun. It screams camp in a way that hits me in my soul. I love like high fantasy. I think I've never been to a Ren Fair, but boy, do I desperately want to go to one.
Maybe not that one.
Maybe not that one. Perhaps I avoid that one. But I don't know. The Jester said he wouldn't kill me.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like the interactivity of that one too, where the king and queen are on stage. People are clapping for them. It definitely feels the most immersive. And so, yeah, I think Torture Fair is definitely the best ScareZone this year. And with that, we have conquered Halloween Horror Nights 2024. All 10 houses, all 5 ScareZones, every single food booth, which means it is time for the best of the Fright Fest, our top eats around this entire event. My favorites from HHN 33 are, in a shocking twist to all, Twisted Taters.
What?
I
No,
know, you never
wow.
expected it, right? I also love the Stay Puft Marshmallow S'more. The pumpkin beer, another surprise that I put that on my list.
That was a twist,
Who
yeah.
could have seen that coming?
Not me.
The Ropa Vieja Walking Taco. And I think my favorite food dish of all this year, the eggs in the further from the Insidious booth.
Wow.
Also, honorable mention to pizza fries. Alan?
For me, we had the corn and shrimp chowder from A Quiet Place, the falafel from Twilight Tavern, the apple pie from Goblins Feast, the Raining Blood cocktail from A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place really just sort of,
A Quiet Place bang.
they really did.
We don't want to repeat, but I co-signed both the Quiet Place things
So
you said.
good. And lastly, the Say Cheese Burger from Triplets of Terror.
Also very good. I gotta say, Universal's culinary team does an amazing job every year, but I really feel like they stepped it up this year even higher because nothing we ate besides the minty cheesecake was a no for me. It was just like, oh, that's fine. I prefer this other thing, or that's delicious.
Yeah, it's. I just am so impressed with the culinary team here and what they bring to the table and how they approach
The creativity.
the creative process
Yeah.
when they are trying to incorporate food from the houses. I can't say enough good things. Are the foods delicious? Yes. Do they look good? Yes. But you're not sacrificing one for the other, and it's just so very good.
But that brings this video from opening weekend of Halloween Horror Nights to an end. But never fear, friends, the Halloween Horror Nights fun doesn't end right here. There is more Halloween Horror Nights to come, not only here at Universal Orlando, they've got stuff at City Walk, including the Dead Coconut Club, and treats at places such as Toothsome. There are displays and specialty eats and drinks at all of the resorts. Plus, Alan and I are going to go on a bunch of the Halloween Horror Nights extras, those Unmasking the Horror tours, the RIP tour, so stay tuned for that video, which will feature Alan's ranking of the Horror Nights houses.
Can't wait.
Can't wait for you to go in Insidious.
I can wait for that.
Also, I'm headed out to opening weekend of Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood, so stay tuned for that as well.
But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and come join with the Man Fam in the conversation on Discord. We'd love to have you. The links for all that are down below.
Big thank you once again to Universal Orlando for inviting us out to the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights. And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm Alan.
And it's been a wonderful, delicious nightmare.
It has been all of those things.
Goodbye. See you in the fog.